Let's welcome Samantha Hayes digitally through our screens onto the screen. Hopefully you guys can hear it because I was having issues before.
Meanwhile, inside Parliament, impassioned speeches at times descended into shouting matches as MPs finally debated the proposed suspension of 3 Te Pāti Māori MPs as punishment for their haka over the Treaty Principles Bill. Political correspondent Zane Small has the latest.
Madam Speaker, point of order.
No, if the member heard...
Also, does anyone in the chat know where Jerry Brownlee is?
Oh, I don't know where he is at the moment, but that is one of the fill-ins, I believe, or the fill-in. I feel like there's an old white man that fills in sometimes too.
Yes. Whoever this is, she's killing it. She is so much better than Jerry Brownlee.
Getting a mum in.
A debate that at times became a shouting match over the proposed suspension of 3 Te Pāti Māori MPs.
This debate is about the eternal struggle for the survival of the Māori people.
In the last poll, in the last 24 hours, the one in the cowboy hat who hates colonialism, the one that's shouting down there with the scribbles on his face.
Winston Peters was asked to apologise for...
Did you catch that?
What the
Did you
fuck?
catch that?
Well, because
The most racist
colonialism is so fucking great. What the fuck?
Did you hear what he called his moko?
Oh no.
Down there with the scribbles on his face.
Winston Peters was asked to apologise for that one.
I've misdescribed his tamoko, I apologise.
These dangerously precedent.
Like, he knows. This is the same shit that Seymour pulled during Waitangi, where he called it a little dance instead of haka. Like,
Yeah, I got lost the second he said, this guy who doesn't like colonialism. What? Are we supposed to fucking love that? Jesus Christ. Cooker fucking bullshit.
we had some great stuff in Marama, though. I appreciate
For that one.
I've misdescribed his tamoko, I apologise.
Wait, there's another person in the chair. Pick a speaker, guys. Pick a speaker.
Dangerously precedent-setting, convention-destroying, consensus-ignoring, tiriti trampling, racism whistling, democracy-mocking, narrowly supported recommendations from the Privileges Committee bring this House into more disrepute.
They think it's funny, Madam Speaker. They think it's funny to point fingers and pretend to kill someone. Now, I don't.
Remember, it all goes back to this...
Just a reminder that that is our pro-gun lobbyist in Parliament saying she doesn't think it's funny to pretend to shoot someone. But she's also the person who's made it easier to shoot people.
The irony is definitely pretty thick.
Does she like guns or not? Like,
right? She only likes them when it suits her narrative and what she wants to do, obviously. And also, it wasn't even a gun. But also, if you're so scared of an auntie pointing at you, you know in your heart you've fucking done something wrong.
I'll show you something. We'll get to that in a second. There's a wee bit that you might appreciate from Chloe that kind of points out how dumb it is about the whole pointy finger thing. Okay, we'll get there.
This moment in November. Te Pāti Māori MP Hana-Rāwhiti Maipi-Clarke performed a haka during a vote on the Treaty Principles Bill, a now defunct ACT Party proposal that would redefine how the Treaty of Waitangi is interpreted in law. Te Pāti Māori co-leaders Rawiri Waititi and Debbie Ngarewa Paka also participated in the haka. The latter was accused of making a gun gesture at ACT Party members. Parliament's Powerful Privileges Committee, led by National's Judith Collins, investigates if MPs have acted improperly. Last month it recommended the Te Pāti Māori co-leaders be suspended for 21 days and Maipi-Clarke for 7 days, each with no pay, the harshest punishment ever handed down in Parliament.
The haka is not banned in the House. However, the rules of Parliament, the standing orders under which it operates, states permission has first to be obtained for Speaker.
Labour's Pini Henare also left his seat.
Like driving up the steps of Parliament. That was asked for permission. It was denied, and he still fucking did it. But there was no punishment there. Also, this guy, sorry, I don't know his name, from Labour, thank you, also got out of seat, but he apologised, so it's okay. He played the little game of going to the hearing, even though Te Pāti Māori wanted, some semblance of tikanga in the whole thing, because, let's be honest, the Haka is all part of the tikanga, but they wouldn't listen to them. But...
yeah. Just weak. Yeah. They're just scared and weak. Like, I'm sorry, but if that scares you, A, maybe you should be a little scared of some of this shit. And B, maybe don't be such a cunt. It's not that hard.
Sort of strip Indigenous people's rights. Maybe that's probably why. All right.
To join the Haka, he appeared before the Privileges Committee and apologised. Te Pāti Māori did not.
The committee sought to arrange hearings twice more, but the members declined each opportunity.
Well, I regret not showing up to the committee.
No, not at all. I think, we went through half a dozen steps to try and get fairness, to try and get tikanga.
The punishment needed to pass through Parliament, and the debate started 2 weeks ago, just days before the government's budget.
I move that this debate be now adjourned.
The adjournment meant Te Pāti Māori could participate in the budget debate, but the co-leaders didn't show.
You want us to go and sit there like the good Maoris and sit there and listen to a budget that absolutely ignored Māori?
Today, Labour's Willie Jackson delivered a...
This is really interesting from Willie Jackson. You might not agree with it, but I think it's an interesting point that he makes, and I'd love to hear your opinion.
A budget that absolutely ignored Māori.
Today, Labour's Willie Jackson delivered a message to Te Pāti Māori.
I know it's hard to apologise, but I want to say to Te Pāti Māori, not every single Māori in the country supports you. And they don't support some of the strategy. They love you, I love you. But some of the stuff is not going down well.
But Te Pāti Māori, not bad.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking, right? Two things. The strategy of not turning up. Totally see how, from a public point of view, a public perception, it makes them look really bad. On the other hand, looking at it from a point of view of how much shit do these guys have to go through in order for things to change. And at some point you kind of have to say, take a stand and go, we're not playing this game anymore. We're fucked over. We're fucked off about this whole thing. Stop screwing us over. We're not going to play it. Start playing by our rules. And let's try and find a middle ground. So I get what he's saying, but also I can get Te Pāti Māori's point of view. What do you think?
I mean, it does make sense what he's saying, but I think for me, what I'm hearing is also that there's a lot of this thought, and even the way he's coming to it is very much from a Western colonial perspective to begin with. Like, I do think being like, oh, just don't be like that. Just go and apologize. Like, it's something that, like, the more people are used to having to apologize for small things like this, the more they let people trample all over bigger and bigger things. Like, I don't think it's surprising. Like, people say, oh, try to play the middle, try to be a little less, but every time you do that, you don't get anywhere. I mean, like, we're getting closer and closer to being 200 years from the treaty first being signed. And our country wasn't set up the way it was supposed to be at all. And then you're trying to be like to these people, hey, you're being a bit much and not everyone likes you. Yeah, but also what about David Seymour, his party? How much are they running inside of the government at the moment? And barely fucking anyone voted for them. Like, it just seems like it's an argument to me that feels a little like victim blamey. I think that's where I'm kind of landing with it. As it feels a little victim blamey, where his ideals are coming from a Western colonial perspective that, like, a lot of people haven't even begun to unpack and even think about in terms of those types of things. So, yeah, I mean, I do find with him, he is very much someone that seems to have very much, like, have a lot of that ingrained colonization and internalized issues there. But I can also see a lot of people being like, that seems like a bit much. But again, that's coming from a perspective of like, oh, what? So that's too much. But the government putting through the fast track bill that allows, the absolute raping and pillaging of our earth, that's something that's fine. And we should just be a little like quieter about that. Like, I do find it's just like, where does the line get drawn where people can actually get mad? Because you know what? There's a lot to be mad about. And that should be represented in our system.
Yeah, it definitely goes both. It definitely both ways. Fuck off. It definitely mimics the idea that the left at some point is going to have to break their moral high ground and just say, you know what, fuck it. We're pissed off and actually we should start to do something and play their game, because if they're going to trample over us, we're going to start trampling all over them. I guess it's the same sort of thing, right?
Pretty much.
All right, let's listen to Hana.
Hell
Te
yeah.
Pāti Māori, not backing down.
We have no option but to be the opposers and proposers at the same time and actually address the core problem that these systems represent, so that another generation doesn't have to come through these doors and be silenced.
The debate she participated in, far from silent.
Well, Zane is...
Yeah, so that's what happened in the House today, and I think, I assume it went to a vote, and I assume because the other side has the majority, it was...
Yeah. To be fair, I really like what she pointed out, though, is that, you know, when it comes to these issues, it's quite disgusting when you think about it, that basically people who have been colonized and have had things taken from them forcibly are now having to basically fight for their rights again to their abuser. You know, like, it's quite, and then also not only prove their case, but then also come to the table with the proposed solutions, because God forbid they do any like actual fucking real work in terms of that. Like, I do find it quite just gross. It's disgusting to think that people whose lands have been forcibly taken or taken through deceit or all those types of things, their descendants are now having to try and not only decolonize themselves, but go through there is so much trauma that happens when you start to actually learn more and understand more. And it's just so frustrating to see a party who has only 6 members that are doing so much mahi for all New Zealanders to be treated this way in this context is just foul. Like, it's so fucking horrible. And I'm kind of glad I didn't go. I was going to go to Parliament today, but I didn't get a chance to. So I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I probably would have got fucking kicked out. Let's be real. I did see because I saw some videos from Hana's actual speech, and hearing you can hear the actual pain in the mamai that she feels for what this represents in terms of how Māori are being treated by this system, because they're not even being recognized as people who co-founded the fucking system, or at least the idea of the system. Oh, did they lock us out? Oh, apparently the gallery was closed. Not surprised. They are so scared. And that's actually one thing that I remember when they came out the other week when we met Te Pāti Māori and stuff. They are scared of the collective power that we're all building, because we're starting to actually get very upset. The amount of protests that have happened just in this last 6 months alone is insane. The amount of submissions people are putting in on not just the big ones, but every bill that's currently up. People are becoming more mobilized and politically active, and that fucking terrifies them, because the majority would not want this bullshit. The majority of people are good people who would be happy to help their neighbors and their community. It's just when things like that start to basically separate us, they make us fight with each other over these specific small infighty little things, when really, if we all got together and went, look, we probably got some issues between us, but we are the majority, let's fucking go, we can do so much more together. They just want us to feel powerless. But also, we're their employers. We must remember we pay these people fucking money.
I like how someone called you Chumenta?
Hell yeah.
Someone called you Chumenta. Oh wait, no, it's Chugenta. I just realized.
Yeah, because I changed. Well, I was like, it's a Thursday. That's why I popped the hat on last minute, because it's like, oh shit, it's a Thursday. How do I differentiate the hat?
I don't have a hat. I've got beanies, but then it gets too hot.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll allow it.
The second part of this that I want to highlight to you is Chloe making a point about misinterpretations, and then someone between herself and James Meagher, and he basically proves the point for her about someone can explain themselves, and like apparently you can just go, well, you tried to explain yourself, but I don't think you're right in your explanation, so therefore, you know. This goes back to the idea that Debbie was throwing finger guns, which I think we all know is just so far off. All right, let's have a listen to Chloe. This is great. You guys gonna love this.
Rip in.
Yeah, hopefully.
Point, we have a lot of hot air about the notion of certain members feeling intimidated or otherwise, and there's a very spurious reference to finger guns. And Mr. Speaker, I would just draw the House's attention to the fact that the Honourable James Meagher earlier in this debate was offering those same finger guns to me as he was heckling in the House. So, Madam Speaker, I just really ask members to...
I've got a point of order from the Honourable James Meagher.
The Speaker has totally misrepresented my actions in the House, and I'd ask you to withdraw and apologise.
So the member is stating that he didn't do that. I think it's probably a good idea for this member who's speaking to... speaking to the point of order, Ingrid Leary.
The member did, and I think that it is open to any kind of interpretation. Some of us did see it and did question it. I'm not saying that I thought it was threatening, but the member did do that action, and some of us on the side of the House did raise eyebrows.
Right, well that's... Yes, speaking to the point of order.
It represents what happens, and I'd like to ask her to withdraw and apologise as well.
Well,
speaking of the point
no.
Okay, so someone did the finger gun or whatever, or points or whatever, I don't know.
Allegedly.
And then someone calls him out on it and says, well, I mean, you were doing finger guns. And then he goes, no, you misrepresented my finger guns. I was just, I was pointing.
What, like Auntie Debbie? Like Auntie Debbie was pointing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Fuck, that's
you know what
crazy.
the difference? Well, I suppose not quite, because I'm pretty sure... No, I don't know, actually. I would say that Debbie is most certainly Māori and a brown woman. Don't know about James Meagher. He's I don't know what his heritage is. But the point being, brown woman does it. White-ish man... A man does it. Let's just say a man does it. Not okay.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens next.
No, just if the member contends that he didn't do what other people thought he did when they saw it, maybe the member would like to explain what was intended. Because...
so he gets to explain what was intended, but Debbie wasn't allowed to explain what was intended.
Yeah, not a fucking surprise.
Yeah. Okay, so he pointed at the members, right? Carry on.
Absolutely. Madam Speaker, I am so grateful for that interjection from a member of the government to precisely prove the point that we are making here, which is that the kinds of things that the Privileges Committee has come to a...
I've got a point of order from James Meagher.
Madam Chair, the member made the claim that I made the finger guns action, which is quite clearly outlined in the Privileges Committee report, and there's evidence in that report. That is not what happened. That misrepresents the actions
so
of
the members made it quite clear that he was pointing at the other side and not making the finger guns. So I have accepted that. I think what I hear, the member who's working her way through her speech at the moment and has made reference to what we think we see sometimes may not be what was intended, and that is the point that the member's trying to make. So I accept that the Honourable James Meagher did not intend to make finger guns at people.
Now, mihi nui, Madam Speaker, because I think that is indeed precisely the point, which is that when we have a tyranny of a bare majority deciding to interpret...
Point of order, Jamie Arbuckle.
Thank you. The member needs to withdraw and apologise.
Can she finish her sentence?
No, the members...
No, because she's making a great point that
Fucking
clearly
hell.
illustrates the hypocrisy. And they don't want her to keep making the hypocrisy because she's basically accused someone of pointing little finger guns. And the other side says, no, finger guns, that's not okay. We did not do that. Let me explain myself. And she goes, well, the speaker's just said that, you know, it was misinterpreted and you were just pointing. And then she goes... My point exactly. We misinterpreted it. You just explained yourself. Therefore, let's continue. Apparently, you can't do that if you're a brown woman. Apparently, if you're intimidated by some finger guns and you explain yourself as no, it wasn't, it's not good enough. Sorry.
Right.
It's not good enough. You were doing a haka at the time and you're a brown woman, so it's not good
Yeah, I
enough.
was going to say, when's his privileges committee meeting, eh?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
don't understand why they won't let her fucking talk. It's like, just let her have the sentence and then deal with the fucking miss. Like, man.
But miss, hang on. Don't let her finish her sentence. They would be proving a point that we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
A point of principle and interpretation about what people think they see, and we've very much cleared up that the Honourable James Meagher did not do a finger gun, right? Carry on. Chloe Swarbrick, end of matter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, the point is that the things that we do in this place, the points that we make, the directions that we point our fingers in are open to interpretation, and the spurious, punitive interpretation that the government members on the Privileges Committee have chosen to take without any meaningful evidence or rationale is unfair and deeply, deeply partisan. So, Madam Speaker, if I may continue on outlining that rationale of just how unprecedented this is, it is not only that the scale of the punishment has been plucked out of thin air, it is not only that this is so incredibly hyper-partisan and therefore dangerous in the precedent that it is setting, but I also think it's important to note the utter psychological warfare with which government members have decided to conduct themselves on this matter. On the day prior to the budget, we were all anticipating that we would be having this debate. And indeed, members of the government allowed for that debate for certain contributions from the chair of the committee and from the leader of the opposition, but then decided to, without any notice to anybody else in this House, to move to suspend the debate, ostensibly for charitable reasons. Madam Speaker, that rationale simply does not wash because, again, if you look at the rationale within the Privileges Committee report, this is all about partisanship and using the might and the power of the bare majority to ultimately bully. And we in the Green Party, along with our colleagues in the opposition, are proud to stand in opposition to that.
Yeah.
God.
So, just dropping.
I feel like the other side of the house is just going, knock! Stop knocking on us! Stop it! I don't like it. Your facts and research and your data, stop.
Making a great point about pointing finger guns. Do you know what my favorite thing is that now in the public record is we the I don't know what they call them. The member has cleared up the misinterpretation that they were not doing finger guns and just pointing. Continue. Like, finger guns is in there a good 10, 20 times. It's like, no, I wasn't doing finger guns. Well, they're saying you're doing finger guns. I wasn't doing finger guns. Well, I mean,
right. I guess neither was Auntie. Is must fucking
Yep. So great point. Great points. Great finger guns there, Chloe. Thank you for. Well, actually, we should really be thanking James Meagher for clearly illustrating her point. Her finger gun point, in fact. It was great. It's great. So that was a little gem that obviously it's probably worth watching the whole thing, but that was just the wee bit that I just so happened to stumble upon while I was watching. And so glad that I did. Is there anything else you wanted to say on the issue?
I mean, it's just disappointing. At this point, I'm more frustrated that there's not as much that we can do as I would like. You know, I really wish there was a way that we could vote of no confidence, all the bullshit that's going on here, because very little has been positive. We're seeing so many things decrease and decline, and just trying to further push us all down. And I'm tired of it, but I'm just excited that we're at least talking about it and that people are kind of understanding, because like it is really depressing that we have to even have this fight. Like there should be a place for tikanga, for those things. Like it's just I don't like the supremacy of it all. You know, it's Western supremacy and I don't like it. I would like us to actually have a system that was made for us, by us, with us, all those things.